Hey, I'm Stefano Ferrian from SYK, and you're listening to Brutally Delicious podcast.
1, 2, 3, 4. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast.
70,000 tons of metal.
The original, the world's biggest heavy metal cruise. 60 bands, 4 days, one cruise ship, only 3,000 tickets.
From Miami, Florida to Ocho Rios, Jamaica.
January 30th to February 3rd, 2025. 5 days and 4 nights mingling side by side with your favorite artists in this incredible fan-friendly scenario that has no comparison.
Go to 70,000tons.com and book your ticket now.
So let's talk about SYK. Is that how you pronounce it, SYK?
Yeah.
I was unfamiliar until Will sent it over, and very, very, very impressed. It's kind of like, I'm going to say, genre-bending, emotional, heavy stuff. Is that close?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, it sounds appropriate, I would say. And yeah, it's intense. I mean, it's a mix of all the music we love. Basically, we don't have so many boundaries, and so we like so many different kind of music. So we don't have we're not afraid to maybe be influenced by some weird stuff as well, which is totally outside metal, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Melodically, so it's weird. It's cool. It's nice adventure. I mean, it's research. We like to push it, and that's it.
When you're writing those like that, are you concerned about how the metal community or those purists are gonna respond to it, or do you just write and say they're gonna have to get on board? This is for us.
Well, it's like I'm writing music since 20 years, basically 24 years in so many different projects, and it's for me it's just something I really need to do with the most accurate and honest attitude I can have at the moment, standing in my musicianship and my capability of doing things, of creating, of accomplish what I got. I feel, I hear sometimes. So I don't really care how people would take it, or if they will got it or not. I mean, it's not my purpose in doing things. It's just I believe this time is much more from the gut.
But that makes it more honest and organic too, right?
Yeah. It's. I believe that it's about maturity. I mean, when I was 20, it was really, to compose music for me was really a sophisticated kind of thing. Like now is more spiritual, is more direct. I mean, now I'm 40, so it's like 20 years later,
right?
And many shit came, and we went through so many stuff, and so I believe that all these things just merged into a more focused and honest way of offering us to the people.
I think that always makes the most relatable, connectable records, at least in my, in my space. I can tell when, you've put your heart and soul and all the dark, because it's a dark record too, right? I want to get to that in a second, but all that darkness, and you get it out. But when you're putting out this stuff, first, do you find it cathartic to get it out? And then second, is there something you want your fans to walk away from after listening to Earthflesh? Because it is so dark, but I don't think that's where it stays though, right?
It's the most of the time is just how I feel about in that specific time. And Earthflesh as a concept came really sometimes before the release, and we were just leaving the COVID period, and so it was like from the center to the end of that period, of that really strange moment in our history. And but Earthflesh is mostly about how suffering is living. I mean, is the amount of suffering you have as a human being living consciously in this world, because there are so many bad things happening all the time. And I believe that I'm one of those that is really highly affected by what I got around, because I just can't stand the most of it. And Earthflesh was cathartic in a way of polarizing that feelings into a whirlwind of fury and rage against all the shit we have to suffer as population, as citizens. And so it's much more earthly in a sense than the previous records, which were more abstract in some point. So this is why, and I believe this kind of approach will be our leading way of doing music from now on. Like it's really a sense of, I need to take it this out, somehow, and tell what I think.
So if it's cathartic for you and you're internalizing a lot of this through your thing, do you find you've put too much of yourself in there and you're too vulnerable? Like, oh shit, I can't say that? Or do you just not give a fuck and say it and hopefully it lands somewhere?
I can take that. I mean, I'm not afraid of what people may think of what I think, and at least I'm one of those that is always open to talk about everything.
That's a big issue in our society, I think, globally, right? Nobody can just talk.
Yeah, I mean, you got this kind of
right. I'm gonna kick your ass if
words,
you disagree with me.
Yeah, words you cannot say, and disagree now is like be unpolite, like saying I don't think you're saying I mean, I won't say respond like you're saying bullshit. I would never. I mean, unless there are clearly bullshit on the table, that's another story. But I am not afraid of taking risk, because I believe that, I mean, if I'm here, I just want to leave at the most close of what I want to leave, like my way somehow, but really different from like Frank Sinatra, not that way,
Right, and it's so weird that division and that sort of miscommunication, because even within families and friend groups and whatever, everybody is sort of like fracturing. And hey, it's okay to think differently than me. I don't really give a shit if you're a good person.
Yeah, it's like, because the trick of these last 4 years, I would say, is that the thing is that you don't really need to be a professional in an area all the time to say maybe this is not correct, but like now it seems that you got professionals for everything, like the most small area of society, and you just cannot tell anything. Like, I don't know, maybe this lifestyle is strange, at least it's wrong, it's so stressful,
right?
I don't know, is it normal to
but I don't even know what normal is anymore, though, right?
No, it's weird. I mean, cities are weird. I fortunately don't live in a city. I'm in the mountain, I don't want to live in a city anymore.
Right.
It's so weird. Not because I don't like people. I don't like what society is making people suffering, which is different. And I don't have any kind of solution now. I mean, I can think about that all the day and not coming out with any solution. I'm not a genius. I don't know how to solve that because it's so big. I mean, it's a huge problem everywhere. So I hope things will get better, at least, you know. But I need my security, my solitude, sanity, and otherwise, I mean, you know, I cannot stand that. That's it.
Right.
And
I also think that, going back to my previous statement, that those in the metal community are maybe more accepting as a whole than the global community or any other sort of subgenre. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's like when you go to a metal festival, for example.
Right. I don't care if you're Buddhist, Hindu. I don't care if you're a Trump, Kamala. I don't give a fuck.
Everyone is a fucking body. I mean, it's like it's difficult to, you know, to find riots or to find people, you know, get punched, or everyone is so happy being there and
with their buddies.
And listening
black,
to music,
green, yellow, orange, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And listening to music, which might be aggressive or extreme, but it's so that's the most normal environment I can find around.
That's the best,
you know?
definition of normal, right there. Yeah,
that's crazy. I mean, that there's a sense of community which is different online. I mean, 20 years ago, it was really different because there was a big community, a real one. Now you can find the same thing at a random metal festival, but it's difficult to replicate the same thing online because there's this kind of flattering solitude online. So you get distracted by so many shit. And it's difficult to recreate. I mean, there are some bands that can create that, huge bands, but it's just for that band. It's not like being at a festival. And that's
with
the
people
difference.
You don't even know, but you're brothers anyway.
Yeah. Because we are on the same boat, man. I mean, it's like
we need to replicate whatever that is and like sprinkle it all over the rest of the globe because it would be a much better world.
Yeah. I mean, violence, it's good if you're playing music. You're not hurting anyone if you do violent music. But violence on a material level is the most brutal way of living. I mean, it's like being Neanderthal.
Yeah.
So we just need to awake about the fact that we're guided by Neanderthal. Yes. Because this is the truth. They just drop bombs everywhere. I mean, I don't have any issue ever with no other musician I play with, I toured with. I doesn't mean the nationality or whatever.
Right.
I never had one issue. Maybe some little, sometimes some little things, but so little. No one got punched ever in 16 years of touring. No one.
Right.
So why?
I don't know.
Why we spend so much money on fucking bombs and shit? I mean, and we are saying that since so many years. It's like when I was a teenager, every band was saying that. It was the 90s and the early 2000s. And we're still saying that. And the bombs are way, the number is way more higher than before.
Right. So trying to tie this back to SYK for a second and Earthflesh.
Yeah.
I think that and historically it's true, right? Music has always been holds up a mirror to society, sort of. So in the 60s you had the protest era, you had that sort of thing. In
Yeah.
the 70s you had, Vietnam and all the, I don't know, Jimi Hendrix, the hippie sort of stuff.
Yeah.
The Grateful Dead, right? You had the 80s. And I think that's what's going on sort of now definitely in the metal world. A lot of people I talk to, are using their art and their not only painting but music to shine a light back on the societal issues and say, hey, we're fucked unless we do something.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. I mean, I don't really know how to respond this, really.
Right. But in essence, that's what I see Earthflesh as
Yeah.
It's dark and yes, we're here, but it doesn't necessarily have to be there.
No, I mean, it's cathartic just because you just push that shit out. So once you push that out, you're calm again. You're
Right.
calm and quiet again. So that's a more healthy way of expressing violence and angriness or whatever you want, and that's the most sane way to do that. So and the only way I know to keep myself constant and sane, and that's it. So it's not necessarily darker. The feeling is dark because that's the thing I need to push out, and the outcome is dark, but it's not just dark because it depends on what level you want to enter the record. I mean, the most important part of the record, in fact, are the lyrics. So that's the primary thing to understand it on a different way. And because everything comes from it. I mean, I need to put down like a storyboard, like something like I need to feel into some kind of environment, and then when I'm there, I just hear the music. I need to adapt to that kind of environment, and which is appropriate to tell it. Is like a bridge. Is like how can I bring people in this place, and which is so complicated and furious at times, and how can I make them safe into there,
even just for those 50 minutes or whatever, 45 minutes.
Yeah, what it is. I mean, it's like, because finally people doesn't feel good when it's scared. It's strange because metal is so aggressive, but when you listen to maybe Cannibal Corpse, you're really chilling out with them. I love them, and it's like,
I don't want to go kill anybody.
Yeah, they're brutal. There's gore, everything, and it's so delicious,
Right, but you don't want to go out and kill your partner or your friend as soon as you listen.
Yeah, but you finally feel good, and which is different with what we offer sometimes, because we don't really want or have the need to make people feeling good. It's like we like people feeling something different, something that that moves them, because it's important to move, and that's basically all the concept about the record. It's so dark because it's the darkness that comes out of not moving somewhere, and in a better way, and that darkness starts to be dense when the decades goes on, and you see the old story repeating itself.
Yes.
And that's the thing. That's what's inside the record, which is not comfortable at all at times, but it's just, we just try to be accurate, at least telling it.
Right. Yep. So what does SYK have planned for the road? Are you taking us out on the road at all?
Well, we would love to tour as much as we can, but we need to make things roll again. And we did a bunch of concerts since the release, a couple festival, one in Finland, another one here in Italy, which was awesome. And we had incredible experience there, actually. And we will have a couple clubs gigs this autumn in Italy, and hopefully some festival next year. I mean, the things are really just start to opening a bit again, so we hope to, to get some attention, to be on some bills as well, because we just want to play everywhere, as much as we can, and it will happen. And we are here,
I love the record. Love it.
Thank you.
Love the artwork. I loved everything about it. And I was not familiar at all, so I came to this absolutely cold. I got it from Will, and definitely everything you said, I think it has to connect, and it connects right away. And I was on the journey, so, and I think that's a lot. We got to get going here shortly, but I think that's a lot of what's missing too in the world, or in the music world, is people are not connecting with the full record, right? It's a journey. It's ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
It's a thing, and you can't get that from popping the second single on or the third single.
No, totally impossible. That's what I love about the record. Through that I listened through the years, like symbolic from that. Maybe, I mean, I can listen to that record for forever. It's like. Right. I don't get bored. I need to, and every time you can listen some little things that goes, that pass unnoticed the last time. So it's so cool that's why what I love about the music. And I hope, and actually I think that metalhead, the kind of metalhead is like that. I mean, everyone got that kind of 10 records that still roll in your fucking playlist, and you just cannot get out of them. Then
give me your top 3.
Actually, I'm now in one of those times when I don't literally listen to anything. And because I need to, I don't have the will. The last time I was in my car, I was listening to Nick Cave and Tom Waits, or and Johnny Cash, and
Fair
because
enough.
I need some songwriters
balance,
now to roll again, and but I was listening actually to Carcass some weeks ago. Hard work.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. I mean, it's so cool. And so I will probably start again now. I know myself enough with the classics. So
for me, yes, I'm gonna say for me, it's the classic, and it's actually the one that was the record that got me into metal to begin with. It's Diary of a Madman. There is nothing better to me than that record, and it's got to be start to finish, and it's got to be just that record. It's
everyone got one.
I'm getting goosebumps talking about it because Randy sounds amazing. Like the stars aligned on that fucking record. Yeah,
I'm actually waiting now for the next big underground thing, because I love underground actually. So, and I love also the black experimental metal, underground. Source, like I loved Shamash for many years. And Kriegs Machine, Enemy of Man is like one of the best records I can recall in the last 10 years. It's crazy. And I loved also Rivers of Nile. I don't, there's a lot of new stuff I love, and I slowly add to my all-time record listening, which I will come back, again and again.
Over and again,
And I hope that, I think that the new record is like a record that can work like that, like can be listened a lot, like many times. And I'm not actually bored already playing it.
Well, that's good too, right?
So yeah, because you do so many rehearsal, and not together. We don't have the occasion to meet because we are all far away.
Right.
And so basically we just meet on stage and play all the time, which is crazy, but it works. And so
technology allows for that now, so it's...
Yeah, I spent a month in my, in my home studio, like literally playing the set a couple of times a day, and
Right.
and until you found yourself on stage. So it's a struggling process. I mean, it's difficult, but it works very well finally. So, which is important.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I know we meandered quite a bit. I hope that wasn't too bad. I like to talk. Thank you, my friend. I really do love the record. I hope it does
Thank you
really
so
well for
much.
you. And I know it's a stretch, but maybe you'll make it over to the States sometime.
Yeah, that would be so cool. I mean, that's the only part of I need to go still.
Yeah.
I mean, so it would be crazy. And actually, we were getting a lot of great feedbacks from US. So
oh, good.
It might be interesting. I mean, it's our first nation since some month.
Right.
And which is crazy because we are Europeans. So
right. I know.
Of course.
Whatever. Anyway, thank you, my friend. I appreciate your contributions.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Keep in touch. Bye.
Yeah.